I'm Chelsea Lowry, and I am the mural artist of The Originals. My work in this particular mural is inspired by Vida Vu and the adventurers that explore Vida Vu. Vida Vu is a very unique and special place. As an artist, I am just so inspired by the juxtaposition of colors and the unique combination that you get with Vida Vu. As a rock climber, I am continually humbled by the raw, challenging climbing experience that you can find there. It's one of the few places left in the US as far as climbing areas go where you can feel like you're truly out in the wild. Vida Vu still has some secrets. So this mural for me was just a tribute to the past, present, and future explorers of that area and their simple joys in just satisfying the adventurous curiosity of going out there and looking for those secrets. My prep for this project started with just the simple stuff, coming up with basic ideas and sketches. But honestly, the biggest component of this mural in particular for me was figuring out the layout of my figures on the wall, because I knew that I wanted to have my climber interacting with some component of the wall, and I knew that I wanted to have him up there as high as I could get him. So the biggest limitation came to be how tall of a lift could I rent in Laramie, and then figuring out where that would put me on the wall. I literally went and stood in front of the wall of that building and counted bricks, and then basically came up with a rough estimate of how high up the third window was, and then went and found the tallest lift available in town, and then from there figured out where my climber was going to be. So that was more of a unique prep, but probably the biggest component of getting prepared for that project. Definitely the most challenging part of this process was trying to paint while being exposed to all the elements. Laramie's pretty consistently windy, and when you're basically 3 stories up in a little boom lift, you're pretty susceptible to that wind. In that time of year, we also had a lot of afternoon rainstorms and things. So I was constantly kind of watching the clouds and watching the weather and coming up and down, and I'd get to paint for an hour and then come down, but you have to be really mindful of not having your paint get wet or rained on within too short of a time window, because it doesn't adhere to the wall well and things like that. So honestly, the most challenging part was just navigating the weather and still, having that creative energy while you're trying to avoid rainstorms. I hope that both people who live in Laramie and people who come to visit are inspired to pursue something adventurous. I hope that those images just excite that energy within people, and they want to go pursue something. It doesn't have to be climbing or biking, just taking a hike out in the wilderness is so good for all of us, and I hope that mural just kind of inspires those activities. Laramie has a very vibrant art community that I think you wouldn't necessarily know without living here and being here, and so I think that the murals really help let folks from out of town know that there's something special going on in Laramie. There's a lot of creativity here, and I think that the murals have put Laramie on the map a little bit. Wyoming's a big place with a lot of small towns, and I think when people come to Laramie, they can say, oh, Laramie's got all these wonderful murals and sculptures and all this other beautiful public art, and that's really unique. You don't get that everywhere. So I like to think that even though Laramie is small, our art community is pretty mighty, and the murals are just one more example of how vibrant and strong the downtown and the art community is.